Hello, hello, hello. Welcome to the 125 Roller Coaster Challenge Trimmed and Stable podcast. I'm Paul, and Janina's not here today, which is always a bummer, but this is our break run talk for May. And to be honest with you, the fact that we've got this gentleman here today, it was great when we got Gabby from Coasters and Brews. We were elated when we got Airtime's Thrills with Chris last month. But the fact that I've got the legend from In the Loop just blows my mind. Now, why am I so excited about having the legend here today? Well, when we started our journey in 2017, we didn't know anything about these parks. So we kept on going on the YouTube and kept trying to figure out, okay, where are these parks at? Where should we go? What kind of rides are they? Where are the rides located? And we stumbled upon a lot of different channels. And the one that we fell in love with was literally In the Loop. I've never seen better walkthroughs. He'll tell you every part of the park. And it's just, like I said, these guys just hit over 100,000 subscribers. So they are one of the big boys when it comes to roller coasters. So without further ado, I want to introduce you to the legend. How you doing?
Hey, it's a weird being on camera. Normally, I'm always behind the camera, and it's much easier.
Yeah. Oh no, I agree with you too. We just started our YouTube channel, and I'm kind of taking your lead here, where I'm like, I have a face for radio. So the fact that I'm just like, they don't want to see me. I'm not as pretty as Coaster Studios or some of these other guys. So
Beautiful hair.
behind the camera, I'm great. So, well, let's start off with what is In the Loop. How did it start? How did you get involved?
Sure. Well, Clint started it back a long time ago. Back, I think in 07, 06. I got involved sometime around 08 or 09, and then we kind of grown from there. Really, it's kind of like a two-headed monster within the loop, where we got the podcast, which is kind of just talking roller coasters with your buddies. We used to do it more often. Now it's traveling so much that is maybe once a month, maybe a little bit more than that, but it's just a couple guys that are talking around with your friends about either going on fun adventures or what's going on in the industry. We're lucky that we have some listeners always give some fun listener questions, just debate and yell at each other, and so that's kind of the podcast side. The YouTube side is kind of morphed into a little bit more of a general travel thing, kind of a focus on theme parks, but there's also cruise ships and tourist attractions and city tours or drinking tours or anywhere. Kind of the elevator pitch I give, it's like it's anywhere people might want to go on vacation is what we try to cover when it comes to the YouTube channel.
I was watching the other day, and I've never been on a cruise. And it was funny because my daughter mentioned she wanted to go on a cruise. So one day I was doing Photoshop, and it's great. I can set up my tablet right there. And I started with one of the cruises. Like 11 hours later, I'm now talking about, oh, well, this one's got this meal. And, oh, you got to get this. And I became an expert in like 10 hours. And that was not just because I was interested, but what you and in particular Molly do, you guys make it just so much more interesting. And I don't know how you guys do it, but you guys can even make walking through the gift shop and looking at merchandise entertaining.
Well, I always think when you talk about like the YouTube and stuff like that, it's kind of you write the book you want to read, and I love theme park merchandise. And if I'm watching, something to nerd up and find out like, okay, what do I want to do at this park? I'm interested to see like, okay, which gift shop is the best? Oh my God, I got to go find this weird plushie of some bizarre character or something like that. So it's just kind of just what I'm interested in.
I'm kind of with you too, because like I said, I'm wearing a Velocicoaster right now. Every Tuesday, I know apparently Trainless Tuesday is a thing, but I do T-shirt Tuesday. And some of these T-shirts are looking pretty beat. So this is my way of kind of giving them one last hurrah before they go into a bin that Janine eventually says she wants to turn into a quilt. So which would be interesting because we have enough to try to do that with. Well, so basically, I know you and Molly, I know Hyde, Ranger, Drew the intern, who I think got promoted, but I'm not 100% sure.
That was by SeaWorld, not by our staff.
Oh, not by your staff. Okay.
Yes.
So, but how did all you guys add together? So it was you and Clint, and how did Hyde get involved? How did Ranger? Because Hyde seems to know a lot about the finances. I love listening to him talk about the ins and outs of the stocks and all that kind of stuff. I might be a nerd, but I really
I love that he listens to these calls and can analyze it. That way, I don't have to sit through 4 hours of financial quarters calls.
I don't blame you. Yeah.
But yeah, just it all kind of happened organically, where one guy knew another guy, or like me and Drew the intern were neighbors back 10 years ago, living in the same apartment complex here in Orlando. We became friends, and then just met through that. I think we met. Technically, me and Drew met on a chat room back in like I think early 2000s. So I've known intern for about 20 years, which is insane.
Wow.
But it just kind of happened organically, where either they were fans that we kind of brought in, or acquaintances that wanted to get involved, that kind of thing.
Now, I believe Ranger he's pretty much the water park guy, right?
Yeah, he specializes in water parks, and his water park videos are so good. I mean, I love Ranger stuff. It'd be hard to find like better water park videos out there than what he does, as it really explains to you all these rides, how good they are. He does an excellent job with that stuff.
I'm really impressed with that too because I haven't really had to deal with it yet with the YouTube thing, but for me, the weird thing would be okay, there's a fine line between doing a walkthrough of a water park or being the creepy guy taking videos of girls. So that's a tough thing to kind of hit there. So, but he pulls it off.
Yeah, I mean, filming anywhere can be awkward, but those tend to be
Yeah,
more awkward. Like for me personally, if I do a water park video, I have like a GoPro on a stick, which just make me look like a nut, not a pervert.
that's true. That's right. And that is yet again another fine line. So
Yeah.
now you guys mentioned the podcast. So which came first, the podcast or YouTube?
Oh, the podcast came first.
Podcast came first because I think you guys promote yourself as the longest running amusement park themed podcast.
Yes,
Correct?
Coaster Radio technically the first. They
Okay.
took a big break, so they are not the longest running. We are.
Ah, okay. I see how that is now. Oh, well played. Well played. I'm very impressed there. So now, what do you enjoy doing more?
Um,
I'm assuming
I mean,
YouTube is more lucrative. So
yes, yeah. I mean, well, it's also fun to have two different sides of it, because I have no idea how many people listen to the podcast. The podcast is something I do for fun,
yeah,
and it's more just you and your buddies. I could have a half bottle of rum while I'm listening to doing the podcast, and no big deal. The YouTube channel, it's definitely more. You look at the numbers and you're like, okay, this hits. Maybe we should do that, or this didn't work. Maybe what can we do differently?
so you guys do analyze that. So yeah, because I
Oh yeah,
find myself doing that a lot. So
yeah. I spent a lot of time looking at those kind of numbers.
yeah, the numbers are real. It's kind of funny because people think you just walk out there and do things. There's actually a method to madness, especially if you want to be somewhat successful in things. Like when we did the podcast, we don't want to copy you. You guys have great, Coaster Studios in the Loop. You guys do fantastic jobs. We don't want to do the same thing. So that's why we focused on the family aspect with the podcast, and in particular, the journey that myself and my son took every year. And that's kind of like the basis. Now, of course, we spin off on other things. We call them ERTs, like top mine trains that we've ridden and stuff like that. But the gist is a father and son trying to hit 125 roller coasters every year. And that's how we kind of fit our little niche in there. You guys, like I said, if I'm looking, perfect example, I never went to Universal until I did Velocicoaster. I watched your video and I knew exactly by watching yours how to get to where I needed to get to get the credits I needed as quickly as possible.
And it's even like we don't do it. Like I live here in Orlando, but I don't really do a lot of video stuff in Orlando, just because the market here is so saturated with people.
Yeah. Oh, that makes sense though. Now, the other question I had here too is, in particular, you guys, when you guys come up with your trips, do you guys map it out in advance, or is it more, hey, you know what, we haven't been to Worlds of Fun in a while, let's go visit Worlds of Fun and stuff like that?
It is everything. It could be new rides, like, okay, gotta go ride Pantheon. I'm gonna go ride Pantheon next week. Like when I went to Worlds of Fun, that was more, I want to see a Yankee baseball game at Kauffman Stadium and see them play the Royals.
Okay.
And Worlds of Fun just happened to be open that day. Sometimes it's airfare deals. Sometimes it's, I've got to go visit this family member. Well, while we're out there, let's go do that.
That's why I'm in California for next year, because my daughter says she's moving out there now. No, not officially there, but if she does, I'll have a cardboard box with my name because it's very expensive out there.
Yeah. And I mean, some of it too is time of year. Like pretty much every year I'll end up in Southern California. There's tons of theme parks. They're open year round. Same with like the Texas parks. They're open year round. So it's a good chance I'll end up out there.
Yeah.
Some of it is, what has hit in the past. Maybe try to duplicate that success with a video the next year.
Like Crayola.
That's true. Drew's hit, and I went to the one in Mall of America.
Yep, that makes sense. So, all right. So I hear you're going international. So what parks are you hitting? You said it was like almost 3 weeks.
Yeah, this is pretty insane. This is pretty ambitious. This is the biggest trip we've ever taken. We're going about 3.5 weeks in July, going a whole bunch of stuff. And it's going to be pretty much half parks and half culture. I've got some friends that go on like the coaster tours and go park, 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 and don't see any of the Europe, and I just can't do that. I want to see, these crazy cities and go,
Oh, yeah.
drink beer in Munich and go take a canal tour in Venice and stuff like that.
So which
But as far as
countries are you
parks
hitting?
go, parks, it's going to be Gronalund, Kolmarden, Skara Summerland, Liseberg, Wiener Prater, Gardaland, Movieland, Tripstrill, Europa Park, Holiday Park, and Skyline Park.
Wow. Wow. That is a quick lineup. So most of these are 1 day parks, or are going to be some of these are going to, I guess some of them will
Everything's going to be one except for Europa. Europa's getting
yeah,
two
I
to
thought
three.
Europa is pretty big. So
Yeah, and that is, I'm so excited for that. That has been my bucket list park for years. It is not the easiest place to get to. I have no idea like how this became a major, one of the biggest, most popular theme parks in the world when it's like on the border of France and Germany and not close to any city. So kudos to the guys at Mac for building what they built over
oh,
there.
that's
But
great.
I'm
Yeah.
so excited. The combination of, beer, roller coasters, dark ride, themed environments, good food. I'm so excited for Europa
I
Park.
remember at one point Orlando was swampland. So
Yeah.
you build it, they will come. Sometimes that's true. So, all right. Now, one last major question I got here is: so why do you do this? Is this just something that's been passionate for you? What drove you? Because I know you're a Yankees fan, so you got that issue. But I'm a Phillies fan, so
Yeah, I mean, it's a big issue being a fan of the best team in baseball right now.
yeah, they are. I can't say anything. We have a nice payroll. We finally broke that cap, but we're not getting our money's worth, Swarmer. We are not getting our money's worth. So.
No, I've always enjoyed travel. I've always enjoyed, and my favorite thing about traveling is theme parks. It started like when I was a kid growing up. I was looking forward to the day when, like that 1 or 2 days a year when my mom and dad would take me to Great Adventure,
Yeah.
or
Nice to
once a year we
tomorrow.
go to Hershey Park, and my grandma lived in Florida, so every year during President's Day week during school, we'd always come to visit my grandma, get out of the cold, go to Busch Gardens, Tampa for a day, and then I always got to pick just one park in Orlando to go to, and that was always like a months of thought in my head, which park to go to that particular year.
No, that was definitely there. Yeah, kind of same with us. My summers, I always try to tell my kids because they kind of got spoiled because by the time as a single dad, basically Hershey Park became our go-to. We go there 3 times a week at one point. But I know growing up, we'd have one full day at Hershey Park. Now, Hershey Park back then was from I guess, where the carousel is now, all the way to the Kissing Tower, and then the arcade. That was it. You didn't have that whole Sidewinder area. You didn't have that whole back area. So pretty much it was that. But when you're small, that was huge. And then we spent a week at the beach, and we'd hit Maury's Piers, which is where we're at right now with our travel. We just announced that 125 was Great White, which was actually chosen by people on Facebook. So to be the Maury's Pier, which one to go there. All right. So the last thing I like to do is what I like to call quick hits. Oops. Let me get rid of that. I'm learning. All right. There's quick hits. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to give you a quick question, and you just answer it whatever your gut tells you. First one, B&M, Intamin, or RMC? What's your go-to manufacturer?
RMC, easily.
RMC. Yep, I'm the same way there. Your favorite YouTube channel besides your own for coasters and then in general?
Oh man,
just one. You can't be giving me a list of 17 of them here.
Shoot, Expedition Theme Park.
Expedition Theme Park. And what's your favorite non?
We go with Carpetbagger.
Okay, sounds good. Disney or Universal?
Disney.
Disney? All right, I'm Universal on that one. Your bucket list, you mentioned your park. What's your bucket list coaster? What's the one that you got to get on?
Ooh, oh man. I'm gonna get it this year. I'll probably Kolmarden at Wildfire at Kolmarden.
Okay. Yep. No, that's supposed to be fantastic. Okay, your choices are Drew, Ranger, or Hyde. If you're stuck on a cruise, which one are you going to take?
Drew. He can drink the most.
Drew. Okay. And if you're stuck on a ride for like hours, who do you want to sit next to you to keep you entertained out of those three?
Give me Hyde.
Give you Hyde? All right. Favorite amusement park bar?
Oh, good golly. I love Shark Bar over at SeaWorld. I love Giraffe Bar at Busch Gardens.
I like the Draft Bar. I enjoyed the Draft Bar. That was nice. So those are your two choices. Those are your two.
Yeah, that's probably Giraffe Bar. The animals in the beer selection.
All right. Busch Gardens, Tampa, or SeaWorld, Orlando?
Tampa easily.
Tampa. Yep, I'm with you on that one too. Favorite sport? We already know your team, but is baseball your favorite sport, or is there another one?
Oh, baseball's definitely my favorite sport. I enjoy beating the rest of the guys in the In Loop Fantasy Football League, but baseball's probably my favorite.
Yeah, I can do football fantasy, but baseball to me every day changing that lineup just
Oh
gets.
no, it's a pain. I did it a couple years, did not enjoy it.
Nope. Yeah, and then favorite amusement park snack?
Beer?
No, beer's not a snack. That's technically bread.
Yeah, I don't eat a ton in the parks. Like I don't have a go-to.
Okay, yeah, me it's the Dole Whip for some reason, and it's not the Disney one. It's you go to Knoebels, you get the sampler for like $5, and it's got 4.
Yeah, isn't it sort of like a little boat or something like that?
It's crazy. And then your favorite flat ride?
Ooh, that's a good question. I like Screaming Swings.
Screaming Swings. Okay. Yeah, I actually got on Sledgehammer over at Canada's Wonderland, and
That's an experience.
That is, yeah, that's a word for it. Experience. That's definitely one there. So, what videos do you have coming up that we should? I know you dropped one today. I think it was Kansas City Zoo. Is that what it was? Or
Yeah, Kansas City Zoo. I've got a couple of ones I'm working on. Probably a cruise video go up over the weekend. Hoping to announce our big event at some point once I finally get a contract, and that'll be in video form.
Yeah, hopefully. I had a note on here. Let's talk about the big event, and you're like, no contract yet. So
yeah, I went to the Kalahari in the Poconos. That's video is going to take a lot of work to put together.
You know what? I actually just booked yesterday an event at the Kalahari on June 3rd. There's some kind of big like corporate event there, and they booked me. I'm like, oh, good. I can go watch your video and figure out what I'm walking into. So
yeah, they have a giant convention center.
Yes. No, they want me for 7 hours. They told me to bring 3 photographers, and I'm like, okay, what the hell am I walking into here? So it's going to be interesting.
It's a quite the place.
How long is your turnaround usually on videos?
It all depends on how much work they are. Anything I have to voice over and edit stuff takes way longer than let me just put these clips in order of which I found most fun.
Okay, sounds good. And does all the guys do their own editing, or do you do?
Yeah, everyone does their own editing, and then we just post one, just kind of what makes sense.
All right, sounds good. Well, hang on there. I'm going to go finish up this episode, and we'll be good to go. So, hang on real quick. All right, well, that's a conclusion of Break Run Talk with Legend from In the Loop. Now, yet again, highly recommend. Definitely check out their videos. Just go to YouTube, In the Loop, or check out their podcast. We'll give you a warning, though. We try to keep it about 20, 25 minutes. They go on and on. So I don't know how much editing they do on the podcast, but you definitely want to check out the podcast. I just listened to the new episode driving back from a wedding that we just did, and it kept me awake. Very entertaining, a lot of fun. Now, for us, on Tuesday, we're going to be doing part 2 of Maury's Piers. That's right, and it's going to be entitled Watch the Tram Car, Please. If you don't know, that if you go to Maury's Piers, you hear that a lot. And that's going to be on the food and the flats. And then the following week after that, we're going to be talking about the history. It's going to be called Doo-Wop. And we're going to go over the history of Maury's Piers because I've been going there for about 40 years. Yes, I am that old. And let's get social. You can find us on Facebook, Instagram, and Rumble at 125 Roller Coaster. On Twitter, 125 Roller Coast. Cannot get the ER. Definitely check out the YouTube channel. We're at almost 200 subscribers. We do a video every day. Sometimes they're short, sometimes they're a little bit longer, but every day, guaranteed, there's going to be something new. And we're going to be filming Six Flags Great Adventure soon. We're going back to Hershey Park, doing some new stuff at Hershey Park. And of course, we're going to start building up our new trips. Texas is on the list, a lot of other places there. So I'm Paul, and I'm going to see you in the queue in 2022. All right. Told you it was quick and painless.
All right. That worked for you, man?
Yeah, no, that's great, man. That's grete. They went through the questions. How was it for you there? I put you on the spot on a couple of them. Now, like I said, we get about 200 subscribers on all the different channels with the podcast.
Cool.
So, I think it's good. We seem to be every once in a while we'll pop up like on the Apple Podcasts. What's that called? Like
the search feature or like the rating. You should listen to that.
Yeah, we're like number 230 on leisure. I'm like, woohoo! All right. There might be 240, but hey, we're taking it. But no, man, I've been a huge fan. If you ever need any videos on this area, I'm here all the time. So if you ever need any content, let me know.
Sounds good, man.
Sounds good. You have yourself a safe trip to Europe. Looking forward to it. And let me know if you ever need anything, man. I appreciate you a lot. So,
All right. Good. Thanks for having me on.
hey, no problem. Have a great one. Bye. Boom.